In this lesson, we'll fill out the top of the head and maybe tweak the shape of the ear a little bit. Alright, so we need to fill in this open area up here. So let's start by taking some of these edges. So we'll go to an edge subobject selection. I'm going to take the second edge back, and I'm going to go ahead and choose the second edge back on the top here. And let's go ahead and do a bridge. And I'm going to choose 7 segments, I think. Alright, so now I'm going to take all of these segments, and you can see it's created a very linear look. So I'm going to go ahead and now kind of move these into the shape of the head that I want. And you can utilize your images if you want to do that. I'm just kind of matching this up with the edges that we've already got there. And just kind of pull those out and get them into kind of a rough position here. So something kind of like that. Let's go ahead and continue to modify this and just create a nice curve here for the head. Okay. And kind of move that over. Alright, so once we've got this geometry in here, the next thing that we're going to do is let's go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines here and select this edge right down here. So we've got these 2 edges, and let's go ahead and bridge those. And we want to dial the number of segments down to 4, which will match up with this right here. And then we'll go ahead and take those edges and modify those. So kind of shape those, bring those out to define the shape of the head a little bit better. And up here as well. Okay, and then we can take those vertices and weld those, and these 2 and also these 2 as well. Okay, so we're starting to get our head geometry built in. I'm just going to tweak these points a little bit more as we come in here, and maybe pull those back a bit. Now up here we can just kind of bridge these across, so we can take an edge selection here and select all the way down, and then select the corresponding edges on the other side, and then go ahead and do a bridge with no segments. 1 segment rather. Will give you no divisions in the middle. Okay, and then back here we can just come in and start to combine these. So we can take these edges here, 4 and 2, 3, 4, and bridge across with 1 extra segment, which would give us 2. And then we can sort of pull this geometry out as well. So just kind of move this out. Okay. And once you get that kind of roughed in, we can take those 2 vertices, just those 2, and weld them. And then the same thing down here. Okay, at this point we can go to our local reference coordinate system and just start to kind of move some of these out a little bit. So we'll take some of these points and just space them out a little. Remember, back here doesn't matter too much topology wise what's going on. Just want to get kind of filled in, and we want kind of a nice shape there. And you can also come in and use your relax paint deformation on here if you want to do that as well. Okay, just kind of relaxes that a little bit. We can change the brush size to something a bit smaller. Come in here, keeping in mind that this will tend to kind of flatten some of these areas out. So you might also want to come in and just kind of pull some of those areas back out a little bit. Okay, maybe on the side here, pull some of those out as well. You can be very freeform with this geometry back here. Alright, so let's go ahead and modify the inside of the ear as well. We can take our push-pull, and you can see if I click on this, it's kind of pulling it out. Okay, if I hold down Alt, it's going to push it in a little bit, so I'll just kind of push that in slightly. And you can always check with the subdivision surface to see how that's looking. We can come in here and grab some of these vertices and move those around. Maybe we want to get a little bit more of a lobe look down here at the bottom, and maybe a little bit more thickness here. Okay, maybe we want a little bit more of a kind of a sharper edge here where this lobe comes around, and just kind of shape that up a little bit. Okay? You can hit F4 to go off of your edged faces. Okay, so just give it a little bit of interest so it's not completely circular. Okay, and you can see we've got a little bit of a seam up here where we can come in and just kind of relax that, maybe dial our brush size up a bit more, and just kind of relax that area. You can see we're getting a little bit of bump, and some of that's okay on this organic character. You just want to avoid any like sharp little bumps and ridges and things that are caused by irregular geometry. All right, so I think that's looking pretty good there for a topology of our head. In the next lesson, let's go ahead and move up to work on the nose. So right now we've just got kind of a rough area blocked in for the nose. So what we need to do now is come in and actually define that a little bit better and bring out the kind of around the nostrils, and it's still going to be cartoony and stylized, but we do need to have some sort of geometry in there to be able to do that. Alright, so we're almost done with the head. We've got the nose and then kind of the lips and interior of the mouth yet to go before we can then move on to some of the other areas. So let's go ahead and continue on in the next lesson by working on the nose.